gonna move.
Stick your lips. I'll go right through, yeah.
I got a big 6-incher, and she screams hard when I pound her with it. Mediocre sex is pretty let downing for girls.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I live with a cat. I don't think my answer is really valid. If I get it twice a year, I'm happy.
Not the pussy's one, but you know.
It's
No.
the pussy you get.
Welcome to Always Room for More. I'm your host, Chris Moore. With me always, beautiful Katrina Penny.
Hi, I'm Katrina.
And with us is Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, here we go. That's good energy I want to hear. I want to feel that energy.
Woo!
Fucking woo!
Okay, Ric Flair.
Oh.
Well, hey, man, I'll be Ric Flair. Fuck, in his age, still eating ass. Fuck yeah, man. I don't know if you heard about that.
A flying high club at another degree.
Mile High Club.
If that was allegedly him, at least he's still getting it in his age.
I mean, yeah, good for him, I guess.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck.
I'm gonna just smoke weed about that right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
I
I
guess
can't
just want
handle
weed about
that.
that, right?
Fair enough.
Well, if I'm correct with math, this episode should be dropping October 2nd.
That's Friday or Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
We normally try to release on Saturdays.
No.
If God willings. By God, I mean me getting my ass together and editing now, because now I'm doing the editing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's always good when you got a couple other people that can help out, you know. Sometimes life throws a curveball there, so it's good to have somebody else to help edit.
I've been wanting to learn how to edit for a while. Mainly because, A, I wanted to help out with the workload. And I wanted to do another podcast and another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do multiple podcasts, I'm not expecting, Spain to edit everything. So I would have to learn sooner or later how to edit.
Right? You wanted to start editing multiple podcasts, you might have to start paying the guy.
Right.
But you know what? It's good that you got some other ones going. Do you want to talk about any ideas you got for that other side podcast, or do you want to just kind of leave that in the?
Well, I'm not sure if I want to keep it hush hush for now.
Hinting at it, just throwing that out there. There might be something else.
We're still trying to figure out a name for it. We're still trying to think. Like, we got the concept, at least. I think we got the concept of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a little overdone, but I mean, I think it would just be fun for us to do.
I think
as a couple.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's a very saturated. It's very oversaturated. It's a very oversaturated genre, but I'm excited because it's our favorite genre, and yeah, I don't know. I want to say it, but I don't, because I don't want to be like, oh, this is definitely happening until we actually definitely do it, Which, if it does work out the way we're wanting it to work out, then this episode is really funny.
Yeah, basically.
Like, really, really funny.
if you're hearing this episode, you'll want to check out whatever the hell we're talking about. Anyways, so
yeah. So if we already
you just kind of hooked them in there with some kind of lucrative potential bait. They're like,
we fucking can't.
So now we kind of have to keep watching because one day they might potentially branch out, and I don't want to be there. I don't want to not be there when it happens.
You want to be the first.
Our diehard fans want to be the first. Everyone else is like,
whatever.
We'll see what happens.
They're a bunch of stoners. What else can they do? Really, except smoke weed? Well, you'd be surprised, bitches. No, I'm joking.
Right.
That was really aggressive. Sorry.
I was going to say the thing also is that the other show won't be about pot or anything,
No.
so there won't be smoking on it, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, we may, but it's not going to be the primary, we're announcing we're smoking pot. Like, we may be high, but you won't know we're high.
Exactly. We'll probably have...
Oh, they'll know.
Oh, they'll know.
How are they gonna know? Everybody's gonna know.
Probably that when they hear a cough or a fucking hack.
That's Chris's cough.
They hear the bubble of the bong. It's just like, those bastards are still smoking.
That's a hell of a milkshake you got there.
I'm blowing bubbles in my milkshake.
Well, I was gonna say we can just smoke joints.
That's true. That's
That way
true.
it's just, quick.
Pull a Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. Just sit there and all they'll hear is...
Or are you going,
Anyway. Yeah. As I'm trying to hold it. That's the thing, though. I wouldn't do it as I'm telling the story.
you're giving it away.
Anyways, let's
that was only a
jump over
tease.
that.
That was only a tease. See how much they can stitch together, man.
But since today is, well, whenever you're listening to this, technically could be any time in the future, really, because podcasts are...
Yeah, you don't have to listen to us linearly, and I don't think people do. Like, some people just... I know a couple people have just started right at the birthday episode, which, I mean, that's a doozy of one to start on. So if you did that, props to you. And if you made it this far, even more props to you.
I think, like, if most people start at least on that episode, they'll see where we are now and be like, oh, these guys are pretty funny or whatever. And they might go back to our first episodes, which I will admit
a little rough.
Are rough because, again, we're just starting.
Learn
We're getting into
go.
the groove now. Like how I started this one. But fucking energy, man. Gotta raise that energy up.
Yeah.
So how are you guys doing?
Fucking fantastic.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear.
I'm tip top. No, I'm not. Let's be honest.
Tip top, I don't know.
I'm doing my best. Okay, I'm standing. I'm still here.
That's all we can ever ask for anybody.
Oh,
Really.
wow,
Just
that
do your
went
best.
downhill real quick. You started off on the top of the mountain, then you're ready to climb back down. You're like, you know what? Second thought, I'm gonna.
Well, I'm not going to
launch
lie.
from second paddle. No.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I am on top of the world right now. I mean, there's a few things that I am really happy about in my life that I'm very excited about. That is not my business to share, but you know, like, there's things that I'm excited about, but there's also. Like, there's a lot going on in life right now, and I'm just not feeling very good. What?
I'm sorry. All I can think about is fucking... Oh, what the fuck's his name now? Tom Segura.
Oh.
There's this bit about how when you meet someone, we're walking on the street, and you're like, and just...
how you doing?
Yeah, the whole how you doing thing. Like, when you ask someone how you doing, you're not really asking someone how they're doing. You're just being polite. So when someone's like, oh, just had a divorce.
When they actually tell you how you're doing.
They actually they give you the whole spiel about how they're doing.
Okay, let's just put it this way. I'm fine.
There you go.
Right.
Because there's two respectful answers. There's good. Or, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
And then just keep moving on. Just move on your way.
Well,
but if you're an actual acquaintance, if you actually
that,
know
does
someone,
that really
you
help
can tell
with
them.
preventing suicide or helping with mental health issues at all, though?
Well,
No.
obviously, but I'm just saying that, like, when you meet somebody and you say hi to someone like that,
Yeah, like a stranger.
You're not obviously stopping to have a conversation with them. You're just being like, hey, how you doing? Kind of thing, like being polite.
Yeah, it's a little bit different if you were walking down the side of the street and just happened to say that to somebody, as opposed to like a friend
that's what I'm
or a
saying,
family
right?
member.
Yeah, if you're saying that to a friend or family member, then yeah, you actually mean to have a conversation with that person. But if it's just you're walking down the street and you see a stranger and you're like, you nod and say, how you doing? They usually say, fine, how are you? And you're like, fine, and you keep walking or whatever, right? Or if you're standing at a
how
bus
are you
stop,
now?
good and you. And you're just sitting at the bus stop doing that. But when you like sit at the bus stop, you're like, how are you doing, right? And the guy's like, oh, I just had this huge back surgery and the wife's cheating on me with my best friend. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. That's really depressing. I
Don't know how to help you here.
Yeah. Buck up.
So, like...
Tomorrow's a better day.
half my job.
Yeah. Well.
That's rough.
Is listening to people
I'm not...
complain about their sex lives or what's going on in their lives or anything like that, which I mean, sometimes the person is great, other times it is completely unsolicited conversation, and next thing I know I'm hearing their entire life story. I'm like, yep, this is how I want to start my day.
Especially when it comes from like guys, probably that's probably like creepy and weird. And they're like,
Every time.
I got a big 6-incher, and she screams hard when I pound her with it. Stuff like that. You probably hear a lot of that kind of bullshit.
With the prank calls, yes. Sometimes they try and be a little more polite. Other times I can literally, like, I'm allowed to say, you're making me uncomfortable, I need you to stop.
Obviously.
But, of course...
Probably get their whole life story, though. It probably fucking starts with that, and then at the end of it, they're like, so that's how my turtle lost his left kidney. It's like, shit, old man. Like, I didn't need to know every little problem that you had.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love being able to educate people on sexual health and all that jazz. But sometimes it is a lot, my dude. Like, it is a lot. I mean, I feel like I talk about my job a lot on here, but it just comes up naturally, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to segue into doing, like, talking about something October-ish, because, we're in October now, technically. Well, we're recording
is dropping.
Yeah, before October, but,
They don't need to know that. It's October.
And I wanted to talk, maybe, like, what is your guys' favorite Halloween movie, or, like, things that make you feel like Halloween or feel like October?
Okay.
What makes you feel spooky in the spooky month?
Okay, so fall, autumn is my favorite, obviously. So just the cold air and the leaves, it just makes me happy. But if we're going for favorite movies for October, we already know I'm going to say Hocus Pocus.
I figured.
That is my all-time favorite. That and The Craft. Those are 2 must-watches while in October for us.
One movie I discovered just a couple years ago because of listening to podcasts, Monster Squad. And I like to watch that and watch Hocus Pocus. Either watch Monster Squad, then watch Hocus Pocus, or watch Hocus Pocus, then Monster Squad. Even though they're nothing alike, they're just really 2 fun movies about kids battling the supernatural forces of evil. And it's really fun to watch. I never watched the Monster Squad growing up. It's one of those kid movies that in the 80s, a lot of 80 kids watched.
I remember the first time I ever saw Hocus Pocus. I was staying at my uncle's house, and I was in their family room, and they had a TV there, and it was old school TV, and I was sitting on the couch, and I remember it just being on, right? And I was watching it, and I'm like, this is so good, and I didn't know what it was called, and it wasn't until I was at Jess's place that I explained it to her and what it was, and she was like, oh, it's this movie. My aunt has it. And she went downstairs and asked her to borrow it, right? And then I was like, oh my God. And it's been my favorite movie ever since. I was really young. I was probably, I met Jess when I was 7, so it was probably around 8 or 9.
You want to hear my funny story about Hocus Pocus? It's not really my story. It's my brother's story, because it's more his story. But one time, him and my mom, my dad, or something like that, someone was going to Blockbuster to rent movies, and they told my brother, my other brother, and my sister Justin and Melissa, told my other brother Jordan to grab a scary movie, grab something scary. So Jordan goes in there and he's looking around and he sees this movie with 3 evil-looking witches on the front, and he looks like it looks pretty scary to him. Mind you, my brother's like 7, maybe 6 years old at the time. And so he sees the back, and on the back has a zombie on it, right? And he's like, oh, that looks pretty scary. So he grabs that and brings it home. Like, I brought home a real scary movie. And they put it on. It's fucking Hocus Pocus. So if you've seen Hocus Pocus, you fucking know that ain't scary shit. That's like one of the most wholesome movies you can watch.
Well, I mean, as a kid, it can be kind of spooky.
Like I said, he was like 6 or 7, so I get that, right? But again, it's just funny because they're expecting him to bring home something like Hellraiser or fucking Friday the 13th or
at 6 or 7.
Well, my parents would have rented it. He would have brought it. He was supposed to pick it up, pick it out, right? And they guessed I figured he knew what he was doing.
I don't have a fucking screen in my pipe.
So what did you do? Lose it?
No, but I smoked the whole bowl.
You were cleaning it.
And smoking it.
I might cut this out, but it's kind of funny, maybe not. Ryan has seemed to have lost his screen from his pipe. Or maybe he burned the hole right through the fucking thing.
You were cleaning it, so I don't know what you did with it.
Did I smoke a hole through it? No. Alright, at this point, I have lost concern for that screen.
Well, Let's smoke weed about that.
All right.
Ryan, do you have a movie?
I think we've talked about this before, but I'm trying to come up with a different one. One that I really like. I don't know, man.
You're not a scary movie person.
Well,
No. Although that second installment of It was pretty well done.
true.
That first one's probably what fucked me up. I think I've mentioned this before. The first installment of It, I think that there's definitely a minimum age or maturity, because some people at different age can definitely have a different maturity level and handle that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think the first installment of It, like, if you're under the age of 10, probably should not watch that shit. Otherwise, it'll fuck you up.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Huh. Scary movie wise.
Well, it's interesting you say that because, like, I think the first installment of It, sorry, many kids around the age of 13, if you're 10, you probably should watch it with an adult kind of thing, but could watch that and be okay with watching it. It had some scary parts for them, a lot of jump scares. The second one has a lot more gore in it. Pardon me. So I find that one you need to be a little bit older to watch, so they're not too traumatized by it.
Yeah.
Because that one is more of adult, like they're attacking adults more in that one, right?
That's true.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we've talked about, scary movies that we liked, especially on our spoopy episode.
Well, I was going to say, not movies that you like, but what movie is, like, you have to watch in October to feel like you've watched at least a Halloween.
I have to watch Hocus Pocus and I have to watch The Craft. Those are the two movies that I'm like, it hasn't been my Halloween season until I've watched those two movies.
Really? For me, it specifically has to be Nightmare Before Christmas.
Interesting. Some believe not to watch that during Halloween season.
Some people
watch it in November.
Some people believe that's definitely an after Halloween.
I watch it in November.
I would say I would watch it, like, Halloween night after everything's over with, when you're calming down, just time to relax. You just throw that on, you watch it, and you chill out, smoke some weed, and you listen to the tunes of Nightmare Before Christmas, because basically it's what it is, right? It's Halloween is ending, and it's time to set up for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Right. Could be how I was, I don't know, brought up. I don't know, just because of the circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
So my birthday is actually on October 28th, pretty close to Halloween. I actually got that movie for my birthday.
Nice.
Like when I was, I don't know, 6 or 7, something like that.
It came out in 96,
so like naturally,
yeah.
I was like, all right, like I'm watching this right now, type deal.
Exactly, yeah. No, I watch it in October too, but like I said, October 31st normally, or try to at least. But the one movie that I have to watch in October, at least once, is Young Frankenstein. Because, like, you watch that, it's a fucking great movie to watch. It's Gene Wilder at his finest. Marty Feldman fucking killing it as fucking Igor.
I also like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
That's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube nowadays.
I love it. It's like, oh, it's so wholesome and cute, and like, with all my like cute little fall decorations and stuff like that, and like.
And obviously Halloween. You have to watch Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Anybody remember Ernest Halloween?
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
I fucking love that movie.
Ernest fucking movies were fucking dope.
Now, you guys remember how, like, those movies, they're kids' movies, but they had some scary fucking parts for kids even. Like, Ernest Scared Stupid had a fucking troll in it that looked fucking disgusting and crazy. And I remember there was a scene in that movie that is why I think I was scared of underneath my bed for a while. Because, like, it's the trope of the girl laying on the bed and she hears something underneath her bed and she, like, already asked her mom to check for monsters underneath her bed and she's like, oh, grow up. Right, so she's like, I gotta look now. So she, peeps over the bed and she sees nothing there. So she kind of tilts her head down and looks underneath her bed and she sees her teddy bear. And she's like, "Oh, Mr. Stuffins, thank you. It's just you." She grabs him, right? And she gets back to get on top of her bed, right? And the troll is now laying beside her on the bed, basically waiting for her. And it's just like grabs her. I'm like, oh my fucking god! As a kid, it's like, oh
Yeah.
like you're expecting the monster on the bed, not on your bed. Damn it! What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
When something's not where you expect it to be, or not as it was, then that's when it kind of gets you.
So yeah, like they have a bunch of weird, crazy stuff in those movies. Like Hocus Pocus, the zombie is kind of freaky. If you're a kid,
Can you believe I would think I've only seen that movie once, maybe twice?
How are you my friend?
This is what our friendship lies on. Really.
Apparently.
After all we've been through, I'm gonna cut me just over Hocus Pocus.
It's debatable.
you don't understand her love for Hocus Pocus, bro.
Another one that I thought of is there's a mixed majority, or there's a mixed feeling on this movie, I know, but I love The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay.
That was one of my first, like, quote-unquote horror movies that I ever owned, and it scared the living shit out of me. Like, I was like, holy fuck. Like, when she gets that, like, paralysis, and she does, like, when she gets, like, completely, freaks me right out. I actually enjoy trial movies and, like, things that have, like, court things, right? Like, I watch shit like that. So, like, I don't know. I like that movie a lot.
No, I agree. That was actually a really good movie. That's good to bring that up. That was fucking terrifying.
And it's based on a true story.
Age. Right? And then the second one is the Amityville.
Oh, I love those movies.
Now, back to the Exorcism of Emily Rose. The Annalise, the true story that it's about, the Annalise thing. You ever seen those pictures to hear the actual, like, audio from that?
It's horrifying.
It's fucking creepy.
Oh, man. Like, some of the sounds that she makes is just ridiculous.
Unhuman.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Oh, it's creepy and just terrifying. It's always on those lists of, like, top creepiest sounds on the internet. Like, they have that. Then there's the Lost Cosmonaut, which is also kind of creepy because when you translate what the person's saying, it's like, help me, I'm on fire, and shit like this or some shit. And that's the lost Russian astronaut.
That's horrifying.
She was female, I do believe, too.
That's horrifying.
And that was like the last transmission or something like that. And they see, like, they hear, like, they think they say, like, they never found her or something like that, or she might have burned up on impact, like, when she entered the atmosphere, so she basically burned up to nothing. That's why they couldn't find her.
My God.
Ashes, dust.
I'm gonna smoke weed about that. What are we smoking, by the way?
But yeah, let's jump into some, Explain the Strain.
Explain the strain. Explain the strain. What a glorious evening to be high again.
Oh, that was really good. Really good. It was kind of mellow. Definitely.
I don't got a lot of energy right now, man.
No, that's perfect.
That's fair. Chris is trying to pump us up, but...
I'm working on it. I'm up.
Anyways, so today's Explain the Strain. A while back, I put up a meme on our Facebook page of pictures of Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, and I changed the hue and made her blue. And then at the
that rhymed.
It did. And at the end, it said Blue Widow, which is what we're smoking today. Because we bought this bag of weed off of THC for You. It's a weed delivery store place. The weed delivery store place that we just got this and another thing of some other weed. But this is what we're talking.
Sorry. I'm done. That's what the other one's called.
I wasn't going to mention it because, who knows, we could probably save it for another podcast.
Oh.
But it's okay because we're not smoking that, so we can probably do another podcast anyways. Right now, we're smoking Blue Widow. And Blue Widow, let me tell you, folks, it's not blue. It doesn't look anything blue, but it is delicious. It has, like, a sweet taste, more of a... It has an earthy taste to it, but it's a very organic taste and organic smell. Like, it's very nice. It's not overpowering.
You know, I keep going back to this, but that's foresty. Like,
right? That's what I mean. Like, It's natural. It smells more organic than most weeds. I don't know how I can explain that, really.
It's really hard to describe because, man, I wish there was smell-o-vision sometimes, you know? Like,
this
smell
is TV.
this.
So this is smell
Smell-o-radio.
Yeah, smell a radio.
Smell-radio.
Smell
Smell-road.
Smell-road.
Smell-road. Smell... Wait, no, I'll figure it out.
Oh,
Smodio?
Just drop it.
What about Smodio?
Smodio, that sounds too much like Smodcast, and we'd be ripping off Kevin Smith, and I don't want to do that.
Sued. We don't want to be sued by Kevin. We love him.
Fuck it, we could take you.
No, we
Shut
can't.
up. See, I'm not scared of Kevin. I'm scared of the fans.
Yeah, he's got an
Which
army.
we are a part of, so...
Yeah, I know what it happens. I've seen it.
He's got an army.
We're
We've
not
got
those
a
crazy
troop.
fans, but
We have
we love them.
We have a troop. My acting troop. Sorry.
What?
We're a podcast troupe.
We're a podcast troop.
Yeah.
Troop. Sorry, okay, that's really annoying. I'm sorry.
Or like a troop of penguins. I don't know why I was thinking a troop of penguins. Is it called a troop of penguins?
Oh, God.
What do you call a group of penguins? Is it
Is it a flock?
I would look it up on my phone instead.
Is it a flock?
troop? Sounds pretty good.
Is it murder? No, that's crows.
I'm sticking with troop.
Google.
Oh, but Google means I gotta find my phone, and I had to take my phone away from my mic because it was making a weird buzzing sound.
No, and sometimes your mind can be a little humorous. You just let it go. Just trust it.
That's the point of this fucking podcast, bro.
Hey, look at that troop of penguins over there.
We were explaining a strain.
I know, so that's why I can't look up.
How did I jump in there with fucking troop of penguins?
I don't fucking know, bro.
What did you say before us?
I don't
That
know.
the Blue Widow strain is a very, earthy and organically smelling and tasting weed. That it doesn't have that diesel taste, I don't find. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have that what is the word I'm looking for?
Troop?
Shut the fuck up with troop, bro. I'll troop you.
Stop trying to make troop happen. It's not going to happen.
So, back to Blue Widow, folks. Sorry about this. Blue Widow is a cross between Blueberry and White Widow. We've had Blueberry before, and we've had White Widow. I don't think we've had them on here, though. We gotta correct that if we haven't. Anyways, they provide both uplifting and calming effects. This flower will have a strong, sweet aroma that may also include sour citrus or pine. There's that, again, organic.
You could have kept going.
Anyways, sweet aroma that may also include our citrus or pine. That's probably what we're talking about, that organic smell or that organic taste. That really more
the pine.
Yeah. The buds can be colorful with a hint of blue and purple, but I didn't see it. I see just green. Maybe it's a darker green, so it could look kind of bluish in certain lights, I guess.
Yeah, it could depend on the lighting.
Yeah, we have purple lighting on in here tonight, so it doesn't help that we looked through that. But I was looking at it outside on regular lighting, and again, it didn't look that bad.
It looks fantastic. It's just not blue or purple.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
green.
So yeah, it's a blissful relaxation strain that provides a nice restful sleep if you smoke it at night. So we're gonna have a good sleep tonight, I think.
Well, hopefully.
What was it a combination of? Blue Dream and White Widow?
Blueberry.
Yes. Blueberry.
Blueberry and White Widow.
Yes. And I forgot to look at the THC fucking total. Because that's kind of an important thing. Because when we looked at it earlier with our neighbor, and he saw how white it looked, and how dusty it looked in the sun, in the light, he was like, "Holy shit, this has got to be at least a fucking 28%er." It's a 15%.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, that was kind of gross. But yeah, it's a 15%er. So, anywho. Hope you enjoyed. Did we all have a bowl yet? You all have a bowl packed?
Yeah, I'm going to take this.
Ryan, do you have a bowl packed of this?
I do not.
Would you like some? Also, I wanted to bring up on the podcast, because probably our listeners are like, why hasn't there been a movie episode in a while, man? Well, movie episodes are kind of hard to do with our schedules and stuff, so we're probably going to drop those as Always Room for More thing. But it might come back as another podcast. Like I said, I got ideas, folks.
We've got a storm a brewing.
Because me and Trina might just do it, and it might just be like we watch movies that she hasn't seen, I haven't seen, and movies that we both have seen and we love, and we like to talk about them and we like to share. But like, I was thinking maybe the first movie we do, Smoke Signals.
Oh my gosh! Yes! I love that movie. We haven't watched it in so long.
Exactly, right? And it's a great movie. And right now, with everything still going on with all this upcoming, or with the stuff with the children and stuff like that, with natives and stuff like that, we should, talk about something native, or have some kind of discussion where we can talk
native
about
content.
Yeah, because there is stuff in there that talks about like the racial discrimination and stuff like that. And
no, that is I love that movie so much. That was like one of my favorite movies you've shown me since us getting together was that movie.
And there's like a bunch of other things, like movies that you haven't seen that everyone's like, oh, you haven't seen that, so we can watch it together, and we can sit there and you can ask me questions. I can try to talk to you and explain them what happens in those movies, because I love doing that with you.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of times where I'm asking you questions and I'm just like, what is going on? And you literally can break down the plot of the movie for me so easily, where I'm just like, oh, okay, and continuing. Right? Like, I like our movie time together, so I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So if you all are wondering where they happen to do the movie episodes, well, we're not doing those anymore on this episode, on this channel, or on this pod.
But maybe you got hints at what you think our ideas are on the future. Hearing us ramble on about potential splitting other podcasts. Now they're like, ooh, you know what? I think I know.
It all comes together.
All right, I'm going to take this.
Yes, let's smoke some weed about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I better pack one.
I had a fresh screen ready to go earlier, and fucking lost it. Like somewhere in the beginning of this podcast. I don't know where the fuck it went, but I don't have any backup screens, so I'm still smoking my bowl and trying to trip through it, but hoping not to get any ash in my mouth.
Go slow. Don't fucking dragon lung this shit.
Fucking Chong that shit. Anybody remember when fucking Chong was fucking trying to smoke that roach? Fucking inhaled it.
That happened to a friend of mine. He used to do this thing called firefly. You know what that is?
No.
Smoking a roach and inhaling it?
No, it's where you smoke the roach backwards.
Oh.
So basically you stick it in your mouth, and you stick it directly in your mouth, and you kind of suck back on it. And he was doing that, but I think he sucked a little too hard, and he's like,
oh no!
And fucking started choking, like spitting it out of there.
Honestly, I was smoking a cigarette one day. I was at the bus stop, and I put it in my mouth, but I guess I had too much air on either side. Like, I didn't close my mouth enough, so when I inhaled for my smoke, the smoke shot into my mouth, and I was, like, almost done the smoke, so it was like a little butt, right? I've never panicked so much in my life. I was literally like... I swear, I looked whacked out on the side of the street.
Wait, the whole smoke went in your mouth?
No, like, I was halfway done smoking it, so a small piece...
Yeah.
of smoke just shot into the back of my mouth, and I'm just like, oh my god, panic, this is how I die. Like,
the one thing I used to hate about smoking when I used to smoke cigarettes was when you had like chapped lips or something like that, or your lips were like sticky, and it would stick to the butt of your smoke, and you go to take your smoke out or whatever, right? And your fingers slide down your fucking cigarette and and you fucking touch the heater.
The heater.
And burn the side of your fucking fingers. And it's like, oh fuck. It's like, god damn it, my lips gotta stick to the fucking smoke.
Wet your lips, bro.
What?
Wet your lips.
I think I did. It's just I drink a lot of like coffee with sugar. I need to stop that too.
Sticky lips.
Marijuana does definitely give you kick.
That sounds so dirty and wrong.
It does. Oops.
Sticky lips.
Sticky lips is gonna move.
Sticky lips will go right through, yeah.
Stop, we're gonna get sued.
They can't sue us for that. It's a parody.
Oh, shit. Oh,
man. I think that's the name of this episode.
Oh, shit. Out of the, where were we?
I called them sticky lips.
Yeah, the same thing.
Oh, gross. Anyway. Oh, man.
Oh, we're funny.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Oh my god. I hate myself sometimes.
I just remembered also was because I wanted to talk. We were talking about the movies, about kids' movies that were scary as kids, or for kids. Anybody watched the movie on Disney, or I think it was Disney Family Channel, Under Wraps?
Yes.
With the mummy and shit.
Yes.
Well, at the beginning of that movie, it's like there's like a 10-minute like intro of the movie where this kid is basically watching a horror movie about Warthead. And basically, it's this mom, and she's just doing dishes, right? And she's sitting in front of a kitchen window, and all of a sudden, like, the camera would go to outside the window, looking at the window, being all janky and shit, like there's someone watching her, right? And it was kind of creepy, and then the creepy music and stuff, and all of a sudden, like, you know, she's sitting there, and, like, there's a garbage disposal thing going on, right? And there's stuff going in the garbage disposal thing. hold your tongue on that. And so, she's like, you know, oh shit, and she's like going to get something out of the garbage disposal, and that's when this warhead creature thing guy breaks in through the window and like, roar, like grabs her and like pushes her face down into the fucking thing. But then that cuts back on the kids watching the horror movie, and they're like, oh no, and the one kid just like, this is fucking crazy, right? I cannot find that movie anywhere now, Under Wraps. But that first scene,
It's not on Disney?
No, how do you think it was? They have under the bed, but they don't have that.
I thought we saw it. I thought I saw it on there.
No. And I wonder if it's because of that first scene, because that scene was kind of terrifying.
Under Wraps.
Yeah. It's about a mummy that comes back to life, and he wants to find his wife, and his wife's being held by this rich guy, and stuff. It's a really crazy movie. And these kids basically find him. They want to help him. At first, they're scared by him, but then they want to help him.
He's a friendly mummy, and he wants to, find his wife. So they go through all these
Fucked.
Shenanigans to get the casket back, his wife's casket back from the rich guy.
I think I remember seeing it.
I always thought it was a fun movie to watch. Again, it's one of those kids movies that takes a creature that you're supposed to be scared of and kind of turns it on its head. But I think
there was a movie that I really liked. I can't think of. Like, there's a few, like, I loved the Disney Channel movies growing up, right? So, Halloween Town.
I was wondering when you were going to get to that.
Oh my god. I'm such an idiot. I'm thinking Disney movie. Halloween Town. All of them. I don't care.
Even 4?
Up to 3.
I was going to say 3 is probably where I stopped being, like, really into
Once
them.
it's not Marnie, it's not
Yeah, they got
Marnie.
rid of the original chick. It's still Marnie, just they got rid of the original
but
actress.
I just didn't. I don't know, maybe because she aged out, but I was just... No.
It's probably just because Disney's a piece of shit. No offense, Disney, don't cancel us, but they're just kind of shitty towards, like, if you want extra money or some shit, there's like, nope, we can find someone else. And then when that shit tanks, it's like, oh, that's not our problem. We just won't do another one.
Mm-hmm. But the first 3 are amazing. The first one is so nostalgic, and that's going back to, that is one we have to watch during October, or it's not October.
Oh, yes, for sure. That one for sure. This first 2, at least, I find. Like, the third one, I could go without seeing whether or not it's fun, but...
I can take or leave the third one, but the first 2 absolutely have to be watched.
Was there not a movie about the headless horseman?
Yes, there's
Sleepy
2.
Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
There's
we didn't mention that.
No.
I
like that one.
There's the Johnny Depp version. There's a Disney version.
Yeah, cartoon version.
There's quite a few adaptions of the Sleepy Hollow.
Was Johnny Depp in that one from like 1990?
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci.
Damn. Ricci?
Isn't it Christina Ricci?
I thought it was Dakota Fanning, but I could be wrong.
No, it's not Dakota Fanning.
I don't even think Dakota Fanning would have been born.
No, she was, but she was young. She would have been doing like movies. I
swear she was in that.
No, it's Katrina or Christina.
I am Katrina.
Yeah. Welcome to Let's Hear More. No, wait, Christina Ricci and Christopher Walken. He plays the Headless Horseman, even though his scenes are like fucking real, fucking minuscule. Yeah, because they do a cutback, the flashback to spoilers to a fucking old ass movie. They do a flashback to when the Headless Horseman wasn't headless, and it's Christopher Walken, and he has like razor sharp teeth, and he would fucking bite people in battle and shit like that. That's why he was the crazed man of the black horse kind of thing, right? And he would go through battle chopping off heads, right? And so the one day he got his head blown off by a cannonball, whatever.
Jeez, you wonder if I'm full blown with the spoilers.
Well, it's because it's a old story that's like told also. That's how he loses his head. And So anyways, yeah. Then later on, when he gets his head back, he puts it on, and it reforms back into Christopher Walken.
Interesting.
Dun, 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 dun.
Also one we could watch.
Creepy. Perfectly valid for Halloween time.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many.
And you got, what is it, Jason 1, Jason 2,
Oh, the
Jason
Friday the
3,
13th
Jason
movies?
4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a true fan would know that was Friday the 13th. Just saying.
Let me just move my hair back here so
Oh,
you
look
can see.
His Friday the 13th shirt. I love that shirt.
I know, I love it too. I love the.
Didn't I
big
get that
old-
for you?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
See, I used to be a bigger Freddy fan. I still am. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I have the four pack DVD set. I want to get the other ones because I love the other ones too. But I really got into Friday the 13th in the last maybe 10 years.
I don't know. I find I enjoy the Friday the 13th ones a little more than the Freddy ones because we've watched both series.
Most of them, yeah.
I appreciate each one for what they are, but I like the campy horror, and I know Freddy is campy horror as well, but there's just something about the Friday the 13th movies that just I love so much.
What always cracks me up is in the later series of the Friday the 13th movies is that Jason gets crafty.
Yeah.
Like he hides bodies in certain ways so that they just
Yeah.
pop out at the right time to scare people so they get scared. It's like literally
My
watching a
favorite
game.
my favorite thing was when you were commentating on it. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna put this body in here.
Yeah, it's like,
Right, like
Yeah,
little
put this
body
here.
traps.
yeah. It's like, I put you here, so they walk through this door here. You fall down here. Okay, this will work. Yeah, I'll hide behind the curtain.
Right, like that's what you don't see is the time behind the scenes
Yeah,
where
like
he's
his
like
planning.
setting it up for like 15 minutes, and he's like,
I'm just
All right, that's
standing
good.
back, looking at his work, just like this'll do.
Hang
Okay.
for a second. Here's a noise. Oh shit! Gets all nervous. It's like, gets
Gotta get into place. Like,
Right.
oh, gotta go.
This is gonna work. It's like pulling off a prank. It's his forward pranking.
Oh my god.
can you picture Jason
Okay, now I want
tiptoeing
to
up,
watch Friday the 13th.
trying to picture Jason tiptoeing off away while somebody kind of walks into his trap, like doesn't get caught. Like that's somebody should draw a picture of that. That's
I'm
priceless.
sure there has.
Oh, I'm sure there's been cartoons and
Because I've seen little drawings of Jason before. and
skits
stuff.
on YouTube. People doing that, like showing the behind the scenes as he's like, "How the fuck do I put a body in the rafters so it falls properly?"
It needs to drop
playing it
at
correctly.
the perfect time.
Because he needs to know like geometry and shit for some of that.
And structural integrity. Like, how do I weaken this roof just enough so that at the right timing in 5 minutes it falls through?
Like, and I give Jason props for that because Freddy, he lives in the dream world, so all he has to do is snap his fingers and shit's done. He can do whatever he wants.
Right? He's just got to think about weakening the roof. He's
Jason
like,
has meticulous planning.
Exactly.
So we think. We like to believe.
And the same thing goes to Michael Myers. Again, in the later series, I think it's in H2O. He kills somebody and he puts them in a fucking closet with a fucking like light bulb. Like hangs them by the light bulb, so when they go in to open the closet, they turn on the lights and there's the guy just hanging there with the light bulb around his
my
neck.
God.
Just like, see, there you go, Michael. Now you're thinking. Scare him first,
Clever.
then kill him. It's all about the scare factor, man.
right? And then his timing's all worked up, and then like at that exact time that you find that, you turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
Like,
There's Jason. You got a 2x4 to the face,
I kind of wish they.
or a cleaver. I mean, I think it's usually a cleaver.
Yeah, no, it's machete. Machete, axe, what are those, like, spikes from a fence? Wrought iron spike, I think it's called. Anyways, I think it'd be hilarious if they had implemented that in the Friday the 13th game, where you could, like, plan out a body so that someone would come
Fall.
across it in a certain way so they get scared and either fall into a trap that you would lay or kill them with some other way. So you just sit there like, and pick the body, put it in this tree, and I'll pick up this head and stick it over here so they come across here. They'll be like, okay, yeah, perfect.
Big scare.
Yeah. Good old Friday the 13th movies. What we do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for Halloween either, because we're going to be doing probably a Halloween party.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Pretty sure there's not gonna be any more lockdowns or any bullshit like that.
I don't know. Apparently things are spiking again. So
yeah, but I keep hearing like they're desperate to not go into lockdowns. They just want more.
gonna like the economy can't handle another.
Basically,
lockdown.
yeah, and they understand. I think most understand that. And
This fucking pandemic keeps surging like my fucking blood sugar, man. Goes up and down by the hour.
That's one way of looking at it.
That's a good knowledge, yeah. But, so yeah, we want to have that, and we're hoping to either do a record before that or whatever, so we'll have something to put up. That won't happen until November, because we'll have that. So, yeah.
What?
I was just thinking out loud that if we did record one on Halloween, it wouldn't matter anyways, because it won't be out until... So I'm trying to remember when maybe not the next episode we do, but in 2 episodes from now, it might be the one that comes out on Halloween. So we should plan to maybe have that, do a special.
So here's the thing. When we come in here to podcast, we're kind of entering a time bubble, and we need to kind of prepare for that. And that's what Chris is trying to wrap his head around.
Yeah.
Is when are the words that are coming out of our mouths now going to reach the ears of our listeners?
Fair.
Yeah, because, most podcasts that try to do a weekly podcast will do at least 2 to 3 episodes ahead of schedule, so that they're at least ahead of schedule by 1 or 2 episodes. And I think that's what we tried to do. Things that we're trying to do. And I think it's working.
I think it's working just fine. And honestly, as long as we're continuously producing content, then, I don't think we're doing too badly.
Right? I don't think there's a noticeable effect on the viewership side of it. They wouldn't kind of notice, or maybe we should kind of explain perhaps reasons why we chose to do this, or I mean,
we've
we don't need to go into good detail, but
they know.
if we have it 2 episodes in advance, then if something happens, life throws you a curveball,
Well, like I said,
you can't record 1 week, then it definitely helps you catch up.
Well, like I was saying, most podcasts do that because they understand that, life happens, shit can go wrong, you lose an episode, people can't show up for an episode, shit happens. So, anywho's, I have a moral dilemma for you. And it's kind of funny, because I didn't read the whole thing, I just read the first 2-3 words. It's your YouTube channel comment section, and I was thinking... But it fits because we have a YouTube channel, and we have a comment section, and we get some comments on it now and then. Mm-hmm. So your YouTube channel's comment section is filled with horrible comments from people who didn't like your last video. One comment in particular from YouTuber Ironhore37 stood out from the rest. I know where you live, and I'm coming to kill you. P.S. Your film sucked. Do you? A. Go to the police. Online death threats are still death threats. B. Ignore it. Only death threats are not online death threats are not the same as real death threats.
Is that really an answer you feel comfortable answering? Question you feel comfortable answering with our listeners?
First of all,
our listeners should be friendly.
You could report it to the police, but I don't know what the hell they would do. Cause
to the lease?
To the lease. Everyone reports things to the lease. Mm-hmm. Report it to the police, and if the police do something, I wouldn't know what the fuck they do, because I guess it's cybercrime.
I've actually had to deal with a person harassing me online before and having to call the cops. I was pretty young at the time, right? And somebody was trying to make me go on webcam because they had hacked into my shit. And I was 14, and the cops came, and the cop accepted the webcam call and put his badge right up to the webcam. Yeah, it ended real quick after that.
Yeah, but did they catch the guys?
No.
Hence and point. I don't know what the fuck the cops would do. They would probably go online and be like, yeah, that looks like a death threat. We'll have to keep an eye. If you go missing or die, we'll definitely have to try to figure out where this person is and contact them.
Oh, yeah. Basically, as soon as death actually happens, then it counts.
Yeah. So
that's sad, but that's fucking technology is brutal these days, and this is why you got to definitely raise your kids with a lot of awareness and some good
Morals.
etiquette and on the good things about the internet and the dangers of the internet, because there's a lot of very useful information on there, but you definitely got to be careful because there is no roadblocks, no filters, there is no signs saying, hey, don't go here, beware, you're not supposed to be here.
And when you are more tech savvy than your parents, you know, it's easy to get into shit. I, you know, honestly it was a lot. You know, like, I'm lucky that I didn't get into more shit because, like, I was always online. I was always doing shit, you know, and, like, it's dangerous, you know? Like, I was in chat rooms at, like, 13. And that's horrifying. Looking back on that.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Right? Like, if I found out my children were, like, you know, but, again, I knew how to navigate
nowadays,
better than my mother did.
Right.
Right? She knew how to use all of the, like, basic software, like, you know, like Word and Excel and stuff like that, but I knew how to use the internet.
Right. Yeah,
So.
that's what I mean. Like, nowadays, even though our technology is evolving more rapidly than we can really learn, so, like, our kids are probably going to know some shit that we don't know and how to do things that we can't do.
And that scares the crap out of me.
Okay, here's a good one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna smoke my bowl about that one. So, remember how I said I lost my screen?
Yeah.
Didn't want to suck any ash into my mouth. I decided to go old school and just grab a good old chunky raw bud and just stick it in there, eh? And then I'll just burn it from there. Well, can't suck any ash in my mouth when the whole damn bud takes up the whole bowl.
He ain't wrong, folks. He ain't wrong.
Wow.
He's got the knowledge of a fucking weed connoisseur.
It's a bowl-sized bud.
Yep.
Whoa, you just stuffed the whole fucking bowl in there. Or
The whole
fucking
bud?
I thought you meant like you stuffed a little nugget on the bottom and then you packed the rest of like busted weed on top of that.
Oh no, I grabbed one whole
that
bowl-sized
would've been
nugget.
smart.
Just,
Maybe it might have
you're
clogged
judging
the
me,
bowl.
eh?
I'm always judging you, dude.
See, the thing is, it might have
Judge
clogged
not,
the bowl.
lest thee be judged. I think it's a perfect size bowl. You know what? I'm gonna light it right now. I'll let you know. Mm-hmm. Let's see. 3, 2.
All you hear is the little whistle from the fucking pipe. Just like trying so hard.
Oh, you got some smoke, so it worked.
Okay, the first 2 tokes takes just a little bit to get it going. Kind of like one of those old rusty lawnmowers. You gotta.
I just love the little.
Like a little electric car trying to compete with a fucking.
Trying to get up the fucking hill.
I think I can. I think I can.
So this question is just a do you, A, always have tons of sex, and tons, but it's never better than mediocre. Or B, never have sex more than twice a year, once every 6 months, your entire life, but both times are absolutely mind-blowingly unbelievable.
So
that
lots
off
of
like it was the
mediocre
Joker.
sex or rare fantastic sex.
Basically, yeah.
Boys, what do you say?
So that's like your birthday and Christmas, you're having fucking some awesome sex. That's mind-blowingly, that's gonna hold you off for at least until your next time going around.
Yeah, I'm good with 2 times a year.
Oh, fair enough.
What?
Sorry.
Like, mediocre sex is still sex.
Well, I guess I know your answer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, your birthday. Well, the thing is, the problem with that for me is, like, my birthday is December 5th. Christmas is 20 days later.
It's all in one shot.
Yeah, it's like
Well, you can break up the holiday. You don't have to do it Christmas and your birthday.
Yeah, I guess not. It doesn't say that in the cards.
Oh.
I would just, makes sense because that's the joke for married couples.
Yeah.
You know, they have sex twice a year on his birthday and Christmas, or on his birthday and her birthday, or you know what I mean.
So that means your kids are definitely coming out around August or July somewhere.
I was kidding. I was kidding.
Yeah.
But
No, I understand. You want the mind blowing sex because at least that'd be worth it. rather than just constantly just being let down. I get it.
I never said
was a
that. That's putting words
shot
in
in
my
the dark.
mouth.
I wasn't saying me. I'm just saying that's what it says in the card. Be
That's
mediocre. That's all.
Yeah, that was pointed. I don't
Did
know.
it say anything in the card about being let down?
I would figure mediocre sex is pretty let downing for girls.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I live with a cat. I don't think my answer is really valid. If I get it twice a year, I'm happy.
I live with a cat.
Not the pussy he's one, but you know.
It's
No,
the pussy you get.
he's a pretty chill guy, though.
He's a good cat. Good cat. But yeah, because at least mind-blowingly sex. Like I said, I'm not saying women don't get off, you can't get off quickly or anything like that, but I think with mediocre sex, that just sounds like, the guy giving you a good romp and getting you up to there, and then being like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what it sounds. Yeah,
Right? Yeah, so that sounds mediocre, right?
a little bit.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? For males, they're getting off at least, so mediocre sex is still accomplishing their goal.
Most of the time, I think so. Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what masturbation's for. So
yeah. I guess it doesn't say you can't masturbate.
I don't know. I guess that means that therein lies is that mediocre. No, that would have to be on mediocre on both levels. So like, I don't think that card is implying that men are actually getting off. Because
And it doesn't gender
if we were
specify,
getting it, even if it's mediocre for women, it might not be specifically considered mediocre in the guy's eyes.
and for the record, it
So
does
the
not
card-
gender specify. It could be same sex. It could be, whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's just
True,
kind of
true.
asking your perspective, not of the event altogether.
True. So if mediocre means you don't get off, then yeah, obviously you want to go with the other one.
or is it just okay? I got off, but it wasn't the best orgasm I've ever had.
That's probably what it is.
Right? It's like
That's
because
tough, though. I mean, sometimes maybe that's
I don't know if I'm, like maybe it's whatever, but there's like different levels of orgasms. Okay, like there's a okay, this is good, and then there's like the whoa, okay, this is great, and then there's like the
the what? The level 11.
The seven.
All right.
seven.
Friends reference for you people if you watch Friends.
Oh shit! I was thinking Austin Powers.
Oh Jesus!
7.
This got off topic.
Like usual, that's the whole point of the episode, or the whole point of the show. Usually, it's just intriguing conversations that take us in weird places because we smoke a lot of weed. And that's also the point
Right.
too, smoking weed.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna keep trying to roast my bud, kind of like a roast my nugget.
Everybody, wait for the whistle.
Oh my god!
He sounds like a wheezing, like dying animal. That's on his last.
Kill me!
It's going a little better now.
Once it lights on fire, that's good.
Oh my god!
What would you recommend? Well, you know what? I already got your. You know what? It's never mind.
Whoa, what?
Why?
What did you? Are you fucking drunk, bro? Like, what did you get paid for me? You know what? Never mind, man. I got your deep.
I was gonna ask her what her idea would be if she was smoking a pipe like this and didn't have any
I told you.
screen. And
Put a small bud in the bottom to block it, or a little bit of ash, and then fucking put the bud on, like put the weed on top, like a normal ass fucking person.
yeah, well, just shortly after those first couple words came out of my mouth, I realized, and then I went on my little mumbling, drunken. All right,
Right,
you know what?
yeah,
Never mind. You
yeah.
are explaining.
Yeah.
Like Boomhauer.
Oh.
You know, I mean,
Where's Mike when you need him?
Love
Love you, buddy. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh my god.
Oh, All right, sit in this chair for an hour. Was there any other kid movies that scared you that you thought were scary, even though they were kid movies?
Goosebumps, maybe? And Are You
Those are
Afraid of
TV
the
shows.
Yeah.
But yes, they had scary moments.
Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark used to scare the crap out of me.
Yes.
But I still love those shows.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I love watching them now and looking back. I'm like, how did these scare me?
Well, I think Are You Afraid of the Dark has a lot more scarier concepts than Goosebumps. I find Goosebumps to be more kid-friendly. I don't know why. Watching it,
Man.
even back then, it was just like, you could watch it and not be totally scared, but you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, and you're just like, I'm a little creeped out.
First time I ever saw Goosebumps, okay? The dog's eyes glowing scared the crap out of me, okay? And, like, I went and I ran. Yeah, we talked about this. I ran and I grabbed my dog, and I'm like, oh, my puppy.
Yeah.
I was like 4,
Yeah.
right? 5.
That guy with the plants in his basement, man, that was fucking freaky.
Don't go in the basement.
Yeah. What one was that?
Don't go in the basement.
Oh no, Are You Afraid of the Dark or
Oh, no,
Goosebumps?
Goosebumps. That was Goosebumps.
Yeah, see, I remember more Are You Afraid of the Dark stories than I do Goosebumps stories.
I remember mostly both of them because I remember reading Goosebumps and watching Are You Afraid of the Dark more. I liked watching Goosebumps, but like I said, they just didn't feel as scary.
See,
they felt cheap. And
I was
like,
severely dyslexic
Campy.
when I was little, so it wasn't until I was in grade 6 I was able to read properly, because I went through, like, help with all that and stuff like that. But I was really, really, really dyslexic, so I didn't really like to read. And so TV or movies was kind of my go-to.
I wasn't dyslexic, but I had, problem with reading. I didn't like reading when I was in grade 2, and I think that's why I was held back in grade 2, because I couldn't read properly. And then I learned how to read that summer and went back and just fucking aced all my reading tests and stuff like that, because, like, I ended up love reading, getting really into it.
Well, I love reading too, and that's the thing. Like, in high school, I got really into reading books and stuff. But, like, all through 4, 5, and 6, because I was diagnosed with a, like, learning disability in grade 3. So, all through 4, 5, and 6, I was in special... Oh, and 7 and 8, I was in special ed programs, right? And 4, 5, and 6 was very, very focused on learning to read and learning to say my vowels properly and all that jazz. And I always thought, oh, this is so stupid. Why would I be having to learn this, right? I know how vowels work, right? But I didn't understand until I was older. They were teaching me how all the different sounds sound together so I can read any word. Right. And it was actually very, like, when I look back on it, I'm like, they did so much for me, because I could barely read when I got into that class in grade 4. By the time I left, I was at a high school reading level, and I was only in grade 6.
Right.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I remember getting taught to read from a pretty early age. I think I was reading books before going to bed. Definitely probably around, like, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Yeah. I kind of really enjoyed reading. And then I kind of faded off as I kind of got older, and now I'm trying to get back into it, but...
Well, they couldn't understand why I wasn't doing well in my, like, because, like, I'd been doing really well up until a certain point. My mom has more information on, like, that, but then, like, yeah, I just was putting words where they weren't supposed to be and stuff like that, and when they realized that I was dyslexic, because, like, I was raised in Scarborough, and apparently, I remember what it was, Scarborough's curriculum, because they don't have English as a first language necessarily, it's usually... Most of the kids don't speak English as a first language. They start the lower, the reading levels are lower. So my first few years, I wasn't actually where I was supposed to be. So when I went to my new school, I was behind.
That's always tricky too. You would think it would be, like, straight universal, I don't know, in the workplace or in, like, schools and other things, but, like, it's really interesting how one school has a certain set of learning guidelines or criteria. Well, and they all kind of have a basic
You had
thing.
to think of where I was. I was in Scarborough, so it was very, very diverse. We had a very diverse class, and there was not a lot of, like, first language English speakers. They were mainly, from... like, I can't even name where they were from because everybody was from everywhere, right? It was so diverse. I was also very, very little. Yeah, it was very multinational. And so that being said, because that school was so, you know, diverse, they had to make the curriculum fit for that demographic, right? The demographic I moved to, you know, was unfortunately a very middle class white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? So the curriculum was very different, and it wasn't until I was older that I was like told that, right? And I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. I remember the reason why I think I ended up passing a reading test instead of being able to read was that my dad would sit up and read to me at night before going to bed, kind of thing, and then he would like kind of help me read, I think. And so I think that's why I started reading more. And then he would buy me like comic books and like Goosebumps books, and like I remember we had a nursery rhyme book thing that he would read to me and shit like that. So I remember that.
I remember my mom reading to me when I was really little, like maybe like 2 or 3. But my mom always actually sang to me more. She didn't really read to me that much. There was one Winnie the Pooh book that I had her read to me religiously, and The Velveteen Rabbit, because I got that for my birthday one year. But that book actually makes me cry, so I got her to stop reading it. But she would sing me to sleep versus read to me. So I was more introduced to music at a young age than books.
I wonder if that's a common thing amongst girls as opposed to boys. I don't know, getting taught lullaby songs as opposed to bedtime stories, whereas, you know, kids are generally taught about, I don't know, war stories or something less stoic things like that. Maybe not war stories, but
I think
something different in nature, as opposed to
I just
lullabies.
don't think my mom really like could get me to pay attention when we were reading, but she could hold my attention when it was music.
Well, I think also your mom was musical, and she liked music, and so she liked singing. So singing to you was probably fun for her, kind of thing. You know, so I'm saying, like, whereas for my dad, it's interesting. That's what I was laughing at. It's like, cause I had a funny thought was that I remember him reading to me these stories, like nursery rhymes. So they weren't like, you know, like war stories like that. There's like, you know, the Gingerbread Man, shit like that, and
or
like,
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or but they're all fairy tales.
Mother Goose.
Yeah, and I remember him reading some of those. But there'd be parts where like it'd be like a kid talking or like something like that. You have
to put voices on.
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
So
he would just
little Timmy said.
Yeah, he would just read his monotone, like his dad voice, right? It always cracks me up to this day when I think about it. Just like Yeah. I think if when we have kids, when I read to them, I will definitely be putting on voices and stuff.
I can see you doing that.
Yeah, I like to entertain.
Oh no, really?
Do you remember the librarian that we had?
Which one? Which school?
Beale, yeah.
Aberdeen?
Yeah. No, Aberdeen. No, it was definitely Aberdeen. I was talking Aberdeen.
Really? Because I don't remember
before your time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember any librarian from Aberdeen. Or from fucking...
We used to have some pretty bomb librarians at Aberdeen that were like really enthusiastic, like actually cared about the stories and the experience with kids. It's definitely a whole lot different when you have somebody that's reading a story for kids that gets enthusiastic in reading it as opposed to just one set monotone. Here's the story, the words are written.
My one teacher who was in charge of my 4, 5, 6 class, right? Because I was in that class for 3 years. I had my homeroom class, but I had that class as well, right? She used to read books to us all the time, and we had this couch in our classroom, and we'd all sit on the couch, and I would just watch her read the book, and that's how I could focus on the story, was watching her lips move and narrate the story. And she always did such a fantastic job, and she made me fall in love with storytelling, right? And she was a fantastic teacher. So, and she did a lot for me. So
I think that was my second grade. Like I said, I was held back in grade 2. I think that was my second teacher for grade 2 was Mr. Billingsley, or not Mr. Billingsley. That was fucking
our teacher Jim. No, Jim.
No. I'm talking about Glenn Cairn back when I was in grade 2. So I forget his name. Sorry.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Or Bolton. I think it was Mr. Bolton. Anyways, it started with a B. And he had 2 bulldogs. He was pretty cool. Anyways, he used to read to us, but he used to do voices and stuff. And he'd sometimes even like act it out kind of thing like that. He was a really cool teacher. So I think that's where my love of like reading and stuff like that also grew. Because because again, I had learned over the summer to read better so that when I was in his class, I was reading more.
Miss Sherman was my grade 4, 5, 6 teacher. And Mrs. Reed was my EA that was there, and they were fantastic. And then when I was in 7 and 8, it was Mrs. Boyd, or Miss Boyd, and she did so much for me. Like, I can't thank her enough for helping me get through, like, my self-confidence and my bullying issues and stuff like that. I don't think I would have made it through grade 7 and 8 without her.
Yeah, teachers are great. Like, good teachers are amazing, and
I still have her on Facebook.
I respect teachers, like, their job is hard, and some people aren't, as nice to them as they should be. They're not paid as much as they should be.
There are some teachers that I hold very, very close to my heart. I went to a very small high school as well, and some of my teachers really made an impact on me, and I forever am grateful for them. Right? Don't underestimate your teachers because they do so much, and I honestly don't think I would have gotten through high school, especially my last year of high school when my mom got sick. They were so amazing.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, props to you, teachers. Some of them are definitely doing some life-changing work. Honestly, it's not just the information that you're spewing out on a daily basis, but some of them actually can really make sure the kids are enjoying their lives and getting through things on a daily basis. When they get past,
just teaching school, and they teach life, that's what matters, and that really helps. But I'm going to smoke weed about that.
Well, hold on, because I'm not done yet. We're going to get there in a minute. Okay. What I was going to say is, and if you have kids or nieces, nephews, grandkids, whatever, and you have time, read to them, show them books, like children's stories, whatever, read them something, so
show them the joy of reading.
And the joy of storytelling, because that's something also we're losing in this world, too, is, people don't want to tell stories. That's why I like listening to those YouTube storytellers and stuff like that, because they're telling stories.
The horror narration and stuff.
Right, and that's what that's what I think is missing a lot, too, is there's not enough people telling these stories and, sharing stories and stuff like that. That's why I love podcasts, because podcast is about sharing your story, telling these stories and telling how we feel about things like that. And like I said, when we have kids, I will read to them, whatever books they want me to read.
And I love that.
And so yeah, I'm just saying, do that for your kids if you have them, or nieces, nephews. Reach out, love people. Take care of one another. Find us, reach out to us at Twitter at alwaysmorepod. Come over and say hi.
Yeah.
Instagram Instagram and Facebook is Always More Podcast.
Always room for more podcasts.
Always room for more podcasts. Shit.
And TikTok is always room for more pod.
Yep, I think so. And posting more videos on there, so check that out. We're going to start putting some funny ones together, I hope. Some related to the podcast, some not so much, probably.
Just be prepared for some wacky content.
Yeah, we're trying other things out, because obviously they don't like us smoking weed on there.
Apparently not.
Bastards. Anyways, love yous. Let's smoke weed about it.
We'll smoke weed anyways. How about that?
Well, thanks for calling along for the high.
Sorry, I jumped right in there. Roasting the nug, kind of working out. Me, it took 2 or 3 tokes, but got it going. But anyways, hey Chris.
Well, now I gotta take another toke. You screwed me over.
Fuck, thanks for ruining it, Ryan.
Read the room, bro.
You know what? Why don't you leave me room to talk?
Oh, I'm glad the nug's working out for you.
Turns out you can roast a nug.
Well, thanks for coming along for the high, because there's always room for more.